Okay, so welcome everyone. I'm glad that you're here. I'm Rhonda Favano, and today we're going to talk about working from home. So some of us already work from home, and some of us in the last week or two have found ourselves suddenly working from home. So it's kind of interesting. So what I want you to do is as we go through these tips, I want you to think about how you can tweak them to make them work for you in your current situation. Okay, because you're all in different, we're different places and different reasons that we're working from home. Some of us, like myself, that's what I do. I do work from home. And some of you, again, like I said, probably just found yourself in the last couple of weeks working from home. So, the really cool thing is working from home has a lot of nice benefits. Flexibility of choosing your own hours. You can have more time with your family. You don't have to go outside when it's really cold, which is one of my favorite things. But it can be challenging. There can be those challenges of, gee, I'm at home, I'm going to just go take care of this. Or I'm at home and I'm going to do that. Or I'll do that later. I'm trying to keep people muted. So as you're coming on, if you will just mute yourself, that would be awesome. So we really want to not be distracted. We want to set aside some time. So here's some things that I think pretty easily any of us could do. The first thing is to create a work area. You need a space. So if you're not used to working at home, you probably don't have an office. You may not even have a desk. And that's okay. Choose a place in your home and set that up. Even if it has to be your dining room table, that may not be the best place, but it could be a place for a period of time. So find that place, but make sure that if it is, in your dining room, let's say, that there's not a lot of other activity going on all the time to distract you. Because that's one of the biggest problems when we are working from home are the distractions. And it's really easy to let ourselves get distracted. At least that's what's happened. That's what's my experience has been. So set aside that area and have all the things that you need there. So when you start work in the morning, make sure that you've got, pens, pencils, notebooks, your phone, your computer, whatever tools you need so that you're not running around back and forth in the house all over the place looking for the things that you might need throughout the day. Have them when you get started. And have a diffuser. Everybody needs a diffuser in their workspace. So for me, one of the things that I love running in my diffuser is Clarity. You guys might want Stress Away or Peace and Calming. You may want Thieves right now, but I love Clarity in my diffuser while I'm working. So get that diffuser on because it can make a huge difference. The second thing, some of you are not going to like this one, but the second thing I'm going to tell you is to get up in the morning, to resist the temptation of staying in your jammies all day. Yeah, that can be a perk of staying home, but get up, get your shower, brush your teeth, do all those things just like you were going to work. Put on some clothes, look presentable, because how many of you know that there's a huge difference in how we feel according to how we know that we look and how presentable we are, right? Anybody besides me experience that? I see my friend Britta over there saying yes. She works from home too, so I know she gets it. It just makes a difference. On those days where I go, yeah, no, I really don't want to put on my makeup. I don't want to do anything with my hair. I don't want to get dressed. I don't feel productive because I don't really feel very good about me. So I just find I'm not very productive. So get up and do those things. They may sound really simple, but it will change your mindset of what your day is going to look like. Now, that doesn't mean if you're in an environment normally where you have to put on a certain uniform or you have to really, dress up, so to speak, you don't have to do that, but get out of the jammies, right? Something. Set work and break hours. So have times that you're going to work. Now, most of us working from home don't work for a straight 8 hours a day like we would, back in my corporate days. I would, arrive at the office at whatever time, and I would have a lunch break, and then I would go home at whatever time, right? It doesn't typically work that way for us when we're at home, thankfully. But set a time that you're going to start work, and then block out blocks of time. It might be, and depending if you've got kids now at home with you, again, you're going to have to tweak this to make it work for what your current schedule is. But ideally, you're going to want to set aside 2 to 3 hour blocks of time, and maybe build in a break or two, 10, 15 minute break in between, but set aside those blocks of time and stay focused, because you're going to find that you're going to be much more productive. And if you do have children at home, then obviously you can set those times around their schedules. You might even get up early and have a block of time before your kids ever get out of bed in the morning. That's a possibility. A lot of moms block out time after the kids are in bed at night. So whatever that looks like for you, figure that out. But the point is, have a plan and do your best to stick to it. Again, one of the beauties of being home is that you do have some flexibility. But if we don't have a plan and we're just totally willy-nilly, guess what? We find that the day is gone and we didn't accomplish anything. Like, we had good intentions. We thought we were going to, but we just didn't make it. The next thing is to create a morning routine. So if we were going to get up and go to work at an office somewhere, we would have a routine, wouldn't we? You guys know what I'm talking about? You have certain things that you do before you go to work in the morning. So I encourage you to do the same thing, like have some kind of routine and something that sets the stage for the day. So part of that routine might be getting ready, right? Getting up, getting your hair done, putting your makeup on, taking a shower, whatever it is you do. But have something, and then there's a point in time where you go, okay, this starts my day. It's something more than having your bottom in your chair. All right. Maybe you go make that cup of coffee, you get over there, maybe you sit down and you start with your emails. You open all your emails for the day and you sort through that. Something, whatever it is that works for you, but have something that goes, okay, this is how I'm starting my day, and stick with that. All right. You're going to find that will probably be more helpful for you even than having that, like I'm going to start to work at 9, so to speak. The next thing is, and this can be a challenge right now especially, is set ground rules for the people that are in your workspace. So the people that are in your home with you, your family. Maybe you share a workspace with someone else. Maybe somebody else actually shares that space with you. But set ground rules, have boundaries, what that looks like. So with your children, unless they're little bitties, of course, that's going to be a little more difficult. But if your children are old enough where you can have them doing certain things, and some of you are home with kids doing schoolwork, maybe while they're doing your schoolwork, you're doing your work, right? You might work, you let your work times coincide with them, but make it real clear to the people that are in your family or that you share that workspace with what that's going to look like and how you need to not be disturbed unless it's something really, really important. And divide up household chores with everybody else in your family. Divide that up. And I would encourage you to not be doing household chores during those blocks of time that you've set aside for work, because otherwise what you're going to find is happening is, oh, I'm just going to go put over this load of laundry, and you get up and you do that, and then you do 3 other things, and then you make your way back, and then you've got to go put the laundry over from the washer into the dryer. Like, I would just do those things at a different point in time. Okay, because gets to be too many distractions. So making sure everybody in your family, usually it's your family, they know what your set times are, and they know what the criteria is if they need to to interrupt you for some reason. How many of you like to-do lists? Anybody have a to-do list? Am I the only one that likes to-do lists? There is such accomplishment when you can take that marker or that highlighter and you can mark it out as being done. You guys can relate to what I'm talking about. So even if you're not typically a list person, when you're working from home, it works really well to have a to-do list and then prioritize it. So the top 3 things that you need to accomplish every day, you need to move those to the top of your list. Let those things be, okay, Rhonda, if I don't get anything else done today, this, this, and this, these are the 3 things that are most important. And do those things first. Don't get distracted. Don't get sidetracked. Do those things first. And again, don't be tempted to try to multitask and do too many things. Choose a project, do what you need to do with that, and then move to the next thing. Great. That really helps us to stay on task. Plus, if you do have that list, even if you're not really a quote unquote list person, having the visual of, okay, I did accomplish things today. Because another hindrance sometimes about working from home is we may have done a lot of things, but at the end of the day, we go, wow, I don't know if I really accomplished anything or not. But if you started with that list, you can look back over that list, and it really is a good tell of, did I make good use of my time today, or did I waste my time today? I'm going to talk about minimizing distractions. That's the 7th thing on my list, on my list of 13 things, because interruptions kill productivity. So the first thing I'm going to suggest to you is, see this little thing right here? You guys all have one, right? Maybe 2. Some of us have 2 of them. What I'm going to suggest to you to do is turn this thing on silent and either put it outside of your work area or turn it upside down like this so you don't see, even when it's on silent, you don't see those notifications coming across. Because how many of you know that every time, you see I got all these notifications when I pick my phone up, every time one comes across the screen, how tempted are you to pick the phone up and see who that is and what it is? And then you stop what you're doing, you go deal with that, and then you have to come back and go, okay, wait a minute, where was I? And now you've just wasted how much time by stopping and starting and stopping and starting. So unless you're expecting a really important call or message, put this thing away. And again, let there be certain, put a block of time, just like we do with our email, a block of time where I'm going to answer my phone messages. I'm going to read through my notifications to see who needs my help or who needs my attention, and add that to your list and to your schedule. Stay off of social media. Need I repeat that again? Stay off of social media. So probably a lot of you, like I know I do, and I know Britta does, we use social media in our Young Living businesses. However, it's really easy to get sucked in to all the stuff if we don't set aside a time and go make your post or go do whatever it is that you need to get done, and then turn it off. And don't get caught in the scroll, because the scroll sucks time. Anybody ever done a scroll and the next thing you know, like you're going to go do something really quick and an hour passes and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm never getting that hour back. So just don't do it. Do the things you need to do. And a lot of things these days we can schedule, which is really cool. So if you have an opportunity or the option to schedule some of your posts and things like that in social media, do that. Yes, it's a great tool, but social media needs to be a block of time, and you use it during that period of time that you set aside for that, and then you get off of it and you move on and do the next thing. Don't go back and forth to things. Let's see. Oh, in your workspace, another distraction might be, especially if we're at home and we've got other people at home with us, maybe a good set of headphones or earbuds would be a good idea for us, which will help us to not be listening to everything that's going on. Some people actually really enjoy listening to some kind of music while they work. They find that it's more productive, and that might be another thing. You know, you can have that playing for you, but it's not disrupting, you know, your kiddos if they're working on schoolwork or something. They're not having to listen to the same thing that you're listening to. So those headphones might be a really, you know, noise canceling earphones or headphones can be a really great gift when you got kiddos running around playing and doing their thing. The 8th thing is to get out each day. I have to like work on this one, because when it's cold weather, I do not want to leave my house. I don't want to go outside for anything. And so for days I could stay in my house, and that's really not very healthy for us. So if we can get outside even for 15 minutes and just take a brisk walk around, you know, the driveway or down the street or something like that, is a really, really good thing. Get outside with the kids if your kids are home, or maybe you have a pet that you can walk. But just getting outside and breathing in some fresh air and a change of scenery. Because honestly, as we find ourselves at home right now, especially 24/7, you can go stir crazy pretty quickly. And how many of you know that when you get kind of anxious, you get a little bit stressed, a little bit, I don't know, you're just out of sorts a little, you're not as productive, are you? So if we get up and maybe we put on a little extra valor and we go outside for, you know, 10 or 15 minutes, it can make a huge difference in how productive we are and how much we can get done. And breathing in fresh air, you guys, is amazing. It's like, you know, almost as amazing as breathing our oils, right? Okay, stay connected. And for those of us that are now finding ourselves in the midst of this social distancing thing, which is a whole new world, right? None of us are used to this yet. And hopefully we won't have to really get used to it. But while we're in the midst of it, want to make sure that we stay connected with other people. So if you're working at home, make sure that there are people that you stay in contact with. So if you have coworkers, maybe from an office space, then stay in connection with them, stay connected to them, talk to them. I know, like for me, I consider Britta a coworker. You know, we brainstorm together, we run ideas off of each other, and she's my friend and I love her. So we have all of that, right? So make sure that you stay connected with other people, so that have to do anything that has to do with your work, so that you don't lose that personal connection. We don't want to be sitting in a cubicle at home all by ourselves day in and day out and not have any other interaction with people. So make sure we do that. The 10th thing is to keep our area tidy. Now, for some of us, that's easier than others. Mine gets a little icky, but keep it clean and tidy. Because do you ever walk into a room and it's really cluttered and you just kind of get this feeling like, ooh, like the energy isn't good, right? Anybody know what I'm talking about? Like you can just feel it. So as we keep everything neat and tidy, we tend to be more productive. We can find things that we need to find quickly. We're not spend a lot of time searching for them. And we just feel better about the workspace. So that's another one that's easier for some of us than others. The next thing is we want to take care of ourselves. Okay? We want to take care of ourselves, and even though we've got that flexibility and all of that, sometimes for some of us, we just work. Just nose down to the grind, and we just keep going. And we don't give ourselves breaks and things like that. And it's important to have those breaks. Make sure that you're drinking enough. Make sure you're staying hydrated. How many of you use a red drink? Like that's amazing to stay hydrated all day, right? With your, you know, a couple of ounces of Ningxia Red and some lime oil or whatever your favorite oil is in that, in a, you know, big water bottle or glass. Stay hydrated. Make sure that you're taking a break for lunch. Vitality drops, love that. Yes, Vitality drops, I love those. That's another way to stay hydrated when you aren't used to drinking a lot of water, or maybe you don't like drinking a lot of water. if you're doing a lot of screen time, which if we're working from home, a lot of the time we're on the computer, aren't we? There's not any way around that. How about the blue light glasses to help deflect some of that, the light that we're getting? We know it's harmful to our eyes. So doing things like that to protect yourself. So just think about what can you do to be kind to you and to keep your productivity up and to remain healthy. The 12th thing on my list is to get help when you need it. So if you find yourself right now bogged down with kids and, you know, maybe you're helping them with their schoolwork and different things like that, maybe you need some help. Maybe you've got a neighbor that's in the same situation as you, or a family member that lives near you that's in the same boat as you, and maybe you can trade times. Maybe, you know, one of you can take the kids in the morning and one of you in the afternoon to give you each, you know, time to get your things done that you need to do. Maybe there's a teenager in your neighborhood that could come over and hang out with your kids for a few hours. Maybe you need to find someone that can clean your house. Maybe you need to find someone that can cook a few meals for you. I don't know what that looks like for you and for your family, but if you're not able to keep up with everything, ask for help, you guys. Enlist the help that you need. Don't try to do everything and bog yourself down too much. And enlist the help from your family. Don't be afraid to ask your family members that are living in the same household with you, you know, your hubby, kids that are old enough to do chores. You'd be surprised the chores and things that even, you know, a 7 and 8 year old children can do. So enlist everyone's help that you need. The last thing on my list is to end your day with a routine. So just like we started our day with a routine and we have, you know, our blocks of time and we're taking our breaks and all that, create some kind of habit that closes the workday. And you guys, it can be as simple as just powering down your computer and turning it off. And that can be your sign-off note to yourself. Or maybe at a certain time, you go, okay, as soon as I'm done working, I'm going to go outside and play with the kids for 30 minutes. Or maybe I'm going to walk the dog. Maybe I'm going to go to a yoga class. I don't know. Find something that to you will end your day. And that way, you know, like, this is it, I'm done. Now, some of us also find, again, like I was talking earlier, that we work in those blocks of time. So this would be what you would do in that last block of time. You don't have to do this every time that you end a block. It's just when you do that last block of time. Okay? Those are my 13 suggestions, tips for being productive at home and remaining sane and healthy, especially right now in this crazy time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back through. I did not read any notes that you anything from the chat. I'm going to do that now and answer any questions that you guys might have or any suggestions that you have for working productively at home. Turn this off.